Thanks for staying with us on News Hub on Silverbird Television. Dave and I have been having a very great time this morning. Those discussions coming through, one after the other. Now, let's deepen this and talk about 2027 yet. Between INEC, that's the electoral umpire, and the electoral reforms that the body is asking for. Some Nigerians also are doing the same, and if you didn't know, within the National Assembly, a lot of attention is being paid to things that need to be done ahead of the 2027 general elections so that the elections could be free, fair, and credible.
Well, on the show today, we'll bring in a very young man who has been on the forefront of the call for electoral reforms in Nigeria. Well, I never thought he was an activist. I thought he was a skit maker. But then I'm just being told that he's an advocate for good governance. Yes, he's an advocate for electoral reform and many other human rights activists and youth advocate. Peter Akah joins us right about now in the studios. Peter, so good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Yes, I mean, like I was saying while the lights were out, I saw your last skit when you visited the National Assembly, and you had the letter.
Yes.
You were going to present to the. You mentioned the Reti Kigigbe,
yes,
who did say that Nigerian youths don't know how to engage.
To engage, yes.
So I mean, to let you know, I actually saw that.
You followed that, yes.
I followed that skit. Speak to us about that and what happened.
The simple, explanation to it is that as a people, there is a need for us to fix our electoral process. Nigeria has been living a lie, because the hallmark of every democracy are free, fair, and credible elections. If you do not have a means of voting your leaders, there is no means of accountability. And there is no deterrence for behaving badly. So no matter how bad you are as a leader, you have a way of rigging yourself back into power. So as a Nigerian, when you complain of insecurity, hunger, inflation, the persons who put you in that situation are already planning to be back. So you must also meet them at the stop where it has to be the point where you elect those leaders to hold them accountable. So we took those letters. They're just symbolic of letting the National Assembly know that we are interested in fixing our elections. By 2027, we want whatever glitches that happened in 2023 to be fixed. We want an electronic mandatory transmission of results to be mandatory. And then we called out Senator Ireti, of course, because she's also partly a member of the Senate Committee on INEC, which she, of course, heeded to our call. We gave her a copy of the petition. She promised to table it at the committee level and at the floor level. We are yet to hear from her concerning that, but the struggle is on.
It's very interesting to see young people really coming out and their voice is being heard. I'm reading through the caption on your chest, hashtag electoral reform, fix INEC now. You think it's about INEC or about the laws?
INEC is made by laws. So if we are supposed to be a country of the rule of law, then INEC should be able to live by its laws. So we must look at the laws that govern INEC. And simply put, in 2023, the current INEC guidelines, paragraph 38, actually prescribe a way to which the elections will be conducted electronically. But it is not reflected in the Electoral Act. And that is the technicality that the judiciary used. So even when INEC decides a way to go, they are not held to the standard of which they chose to. So what is going to happen is, good laws are as good as the persons who interpret those laws. We have a problem with the judicial arm of government, but they are an unelected arm. They are appointed. So we need to first plug the loopholes in the laws and then think of how to also reform the entire judicial sector where we can now get real justice for states.
So let me write on that.
Yeah.
So it's clear that, of course, INEC is the creation of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And so electoral reform laws, electoral laws generally, as amended in 2022, that was what we thought that many Nigerians assumed those were the laws
would be the game changer
in 2023. But some of Nigerians, maybe you are among them, had some reservations about the laws. So the question is, if you had your way, what aspects of the Constitution do you think, that's electoral law, so to speak, do you think need to be fixed right now? Those aspects that will not make you feel good to go and vote.
Section 60, subsection 5 of the 2022 Electoral Act says that the presiding officer will transmit results in a way and manner as prescribed by INEC. Now, the question is, did INEC prescribe a way and manner to transmit a result? Yes, in paragraph 38. And in fact, that is why the current INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood, went around the country with the then head of voter education, Barrister Festus, telling the whole world that they were going to use beavers and transmit results electronically. But on the day of the elections, they said there was a glitch. What caused the glitch? Have we investigated to know why we should not have further glitches? So now we must encode the law and not leave transmission or conducting elections at the mercy of INEC. There should be statutory how it should be done, and then reduce human interference as much as possible, so that from voter registration to voting to collation of results is all done in a transparent manner, and where Nigerians can have access to the server.
I'm happy you talked about the fact that you should not leave that decision of how it is transmitted to INEC to decide, because I know that the law was an open law for INEC.
Yes,
INEC's discretion to decide whether to transmit by electronic or
manually.
Otherwise. Yes. I'm happy you said that. So you know this comes with implications.
Yes,
it comes with a lot of implications. If INEC should sit on transmitting by electronically, it comes with a lot of implications for the system. Aren't you afraid that the system could be hacked as well?
Every system is prone to hacking. Why have there not been a hack on the central bank system of Nigeria? Why is there no hack on the accounts of the governing parties, political parties? Congo conducted election, DRC. Ghana just conducted elections last year, and the president of Nigeria was there. We are supposed to be the giant of Africa. The only things that do not work in Nigeria are what the political class do not want to work. This same INEC chairman had already gone ahead to set up a steering committee as far back as 2018 with the NCC, who told them that we have gotten help from JAM, from Airtel, MTN, and all telecommunication servers, and we are able to provide. That is why JAM is able to do the CBT exams it is doing. So there is adequate technology to do this. I mean, kidnappers receive SMS alert, terrorists do receive alert even in the forest. So what is the technology that is not there? So if we say because there will be a challenge, does it mean we should not improve on our electoral process? There is no political will, and that is the simple truth. If there is a will, there is a way. Countries that are smaller, Senegal, South Africa just conducted elections last year. Our president was there during the inauguration. What are they learning? Mahmoud Yakubu was in Ghana preaching to them about electoral transparency. So what is happening with Nigeria? There is every means and resource to achieving free, fair, and credible election. The missing thing is political will, and the people must insist.
All right, Peter. One moment, please, David. If not INEC, then who should then, we're talking about electoral reform.
Yes.
Who should then go ahead to publish the results, if not INEC? Because you're saying now, you rather that INEC won't be in charge of relaying all the elections results, so to speak.
No.
Did that get you right?
No. It has to be INEC. You can decide to change the name, but the electoral umpires whom we are talking about, the law mandates them to conduct elections. So what we are saying is that we have to reform it in such a way that it is devoid of human interference, because the best of man is man. The INEC and the current constitution empowers the president to appoint who will be INEC chairman. He can decide to appoint his kinsman or whatever. But if the process is insulated in such a way that there is transparency and accountability.
Okay, I guess our viewers also got to clear. I needed to make that clear, because some would say, okay, maybe he's saying that INEC should not be left to take care of the result of the elections alone, but now INEC still, as constituted by the laws of the land, would do that, but limited human interference. So it goes, thank you, David.
Yeah, so good one, yeah. So let's look at, it is not all about INEC. INEC is a product of law.
Yes.
Okay, so we should be hammering on the makers of the law itself. Now, you talked about lack of political will. So how do we drive this in? You look at the Constitution on how difficult it is to recall a sitting senator and all of that. You look at the Constitution on how powerful it is for Mr. President to appoint the INEC chairman. All of these are concerns that we should be taking one at a time.
Yes. Thank you very much. Look, let me be honest with you. On this journey throughout, we began this electoral reform campaign and all of that. One thing is clear. What will change the fortunes of Nigeria's election will be an electoral revolution. They change to get free and fair elections, because in Nigeria today, a good percentage of Nigerians do not even believe that it is possible to achieve free and fair elections. There is truly no political will. Nigerians must mobilize. There must be a peaceful protest that will shut down the National Assembly for the politicians to get it. Because as long as we do not pay attention to that, even from the information we have been getting, both from the presidency, both from the National Assembly, the current Senate Committee Chairman on INEC, it used to be Senator Sharafaddin Abiodun Ali from Oyo Central. He was changed and replaced with Senator Simon Bakola Long, who is the former governor of Plateau State, and the former DG of the Tinubu campaign in 2023. So you should know where we are coming from and where we are headed. So Nigerians will decide to ask themselves, how important is this? Because look, there is no leader who knows that the people have the powers to vote me in and vote me out who will not want to perform. It is the system that will instill discipline on leadership. But because we have failed to fix that system, it is now weaponized against the people. So with all of these issues, INEC chairman, this and that, we will ask ourselves the question, the people in power and the power of the people, who should be greater? If Nigerians are ready, we will get it.
All right, let's even assume that we have all the laws tinkered with to suit the dreams of achieving free, fair, credible elections in the country. There will be other areas that many Nigerians still feel need some kind of reforms. What would those areas be for you?
You know what? When some persons even hear me talking about INEC, it seems like that is the only problem in Nigeria. But let me let you know that every sector is as bad. The judiciary is in trouble, civil service, law enforcement, the petroleum sector, the health sector. But the issue are this, or the fundamental issue is this. The persons who will fix all of this and reform them will have to be elected. And if you spend time complaining or whining about a bad economy, insecurity, and all of those other sectors that are bad, you will have more time to complain about them, because the persons who are responsible for this will have a way of coming back. So first of all, fix a process of holding public office holders accountable, so that when they fail to deliver, you can then elect people who will. Because why are you stuck in struggling to reform? Nigeria is struggling because the fundamental basis of governance, the institution, are not working. It won't work. That is how it is configured.
You seem to be so unhappy with the judiciary, honestly. Tell me more about that.
The institutions.
the entire institution. Nigeria does not really have a judiciary. The judiciary is an independent arm of a democratic government. What Nigeria has is the legal department of every government in power. An institution that is supposed to be the last hope of the common man has become the last hope of the uncommon man. That is why you can procure court judgments as you will, and it is not able to dispense justice for the states and not for statesmen. People must be protected. And what is the level of trust and confidence in the judiciary? That laws have become something that some persons, politicians, will decide which law to obey and which one to violate, and the judiciary is unable to live up to its expectation. So we need critical reform of the judiciary, and that will happen by getting politicians who even believe. Look at what is going on with packing the courts with spouses of politicians, moving them from the appellate court to the Supreme Court. And when they get there, they are not beholden to Nigerians, because they see themselves as stooges of other arms of government. They are supposed to be coordinates and not subordinates. So we have judiciary. Law and order is the basis of a democracy. If we cannot fix the judiciary, we are in serious trouble.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. We seem to be in a quagmire right now, where we need to take this from the very beginning, from the start point. For you think the electoral laws or is the start point?
Yes, is the foundation. I mean, that is it. We just
so just hold your thoughts.
Yes.
Now, if that is the start point, now the beneficiaries of the lacuna of the laws would not want you to change the status quo.
Would not want you to.
So how do you deal with this right now?
So the question is, if the beneficiaries, how many are there? Let us calculate the entire political class as against more than 200 million victims of that dysfunctionality. So when will the people also decide that this is about our lives? And that is why you can see the feedback from even the Buhari, the news of the loss of the former president. Because he who was a beneficiary of a seemingly free and fair election in 2015, the least Buhari could have done for Nigeria was to implement and consolidate on the elections that Jonathan conducted for him in 2015. But he went ahead to oversee some of the most criminal elections in the history of this country. And when Nigerians asked the question in 2023, what was his response? Go to court. What did he know about the court? Every time Buhari contested the election, for 3 times before winning the 4th time, he always went to court. What was his feedback? What did he do to improve that judicial arm of government? So as a people, we must know that the electoral process is the weapon formed against us, and we must get the courage to fixing it.
All right, before we go this morning, expectedly, you would imagine that the lawmakers reach out to their constituents when amendments are meant to be made with regards to any laws. Have you experienced that in Nigeria?
There are zonal public hearings going on, you know, the Senate and the House, and get some of the addresses of the House zonal public hearings, government houses, Nasarawa, Bayelsa, Kaduna holding in state houses. So that should tell you something that is supposed to be a public hearing is held in a government institution with limited access of the public. And even the dates are concealed such that it is almost like a secret court meeting. And that is why Nigerians will put focus. So you will know all that it takes about this electoral and constitutional review. Politicians no one, but as Fela said, they no one take and board them take them. If Nigerians are tired and mobilized enough, we will change this system.
Peter Akah, you're always a good spot to have on the show. Thank you indeed. Peter is a human rights activist, a youth advocate. Well, thank you indeed for your time. We'll definitely are bringing you back onto the program.
My absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, so who is it that is taking a listen to what people are saying? Who's watching how Nigerians are moving? And what would it be for us all in 2027? You're still watching News Up, coming your way on Silverbird Television. We'll take a short break. We'll be back in just a moment.